welcome back. We have an update from Cyios Corp. Trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol CYIO. It's a publicly traded holding company focused on innovative tech, blockchain, Web3, NFT, and carbon offsets, and owns numerous subsidiary businesses, including CarbonCred, Helio Lending, Randombly, and Immortals Group. Happy to welcome its chairman, John O'Shea. Welcome, John.
Well, thank you, Anne. Thank you for having us yet again on your channel. So looking forward to that. And I'd really like to take the opportunity to introduce Ralph Amato, who's the CEO and founder of Nanor Medical Supplies. Welcome, Ralph. This is your first time on the channel.
It is my first time doing any of this. Thank you very much, John.
And I know that you've just come back from Europe. Where'd you go and what was the nicest thing about Europe that you found?
Oh, I recently traveled back from Portugal. I went for a little vacation with my wife and I, my daughter, and my niece and her husband went. And the nicest thing was the food and the wine. Very simple.
The wine. So tell us how you came up with the name Nora. Obviously, it's a wine related.
It is somewhat wine related. I am a big Pinot Noir fan. It's funny you mentioned that. Noir is actually taken from the second half of that wonderful wine. And we've always been in the medical supplies business. So we just matched the two together and it worked out perfect. A lot of people find it interesting. And I get the same question many, many times.
Yeah, well, it's great. And I'm a big fan of the drink as well. Tell us about, how you came about being in the business, why you started the company. Give us a little bit of background about yourself and the business, if you could.
After many, many years of being in the medical business through other companies, we decided to coalesce all our knowledge, all our experience, and put it into one company called Noir. I am 59 years old. I've been in this business since I'm 19, so I've done it a long time. And the issue was to try to build a company independently that would service the needs of customers in an expedient way, maintain certain degrees of inventory that they would need on a regular basis, and to make sure that we give decent customer service. Turning out our greatest attribute is the fact that we have great customer service, and it makes our customers willing to come back to us over and over. Plus, we have good prices and the right items.
Yeah. And look, we've known each other for a while, and the CEO, David Lewis, has known you for a long, long time. And the acquisition that Cyios made with purchasing your company is really exciting for us. And we haven't, and I'll get into the sort of the value of that business a bit later in the conversation. We don't have a lot of time, but what I'd really like to do is explore what you're doing in the business and explain sort of like at a top level, looking down, how your business operates on a day-to-day basis. And then what you've achieved last year, for an example, in regards to revenues.
Well, sometimes we operate nice and solid. Sometimes we operate on a wing and a prayer. I'm only kidding about that. We've been in the business of sourcing inventories predominantly through buying back excess inventories, buying back hospital overstock, buying back other vendors that need to liquidate a position because they bought too much product. Some of them are in trouble and they just need to move inventory to raise money. So our predominant way of doing business is working with other authorized distributors, manufacturers, competitors, and when they need help, we step in. When a hospital is overstocked, for instance, we just did a lot of PPE over the last 2 years, PPE being personal protective equipment, which was the masks, the gowns, et cetera, they couldn't use it anymore. They overbought because they never knew when COVID was going to end. So we had to come in and help them clean it up and move it to clean up their books and to make our books look better and give us more business.
So that means you're buying that at a discount? You're buying that product at a discount?
Yes, you have to. Our business motto is to go in and try to sell product to our customers anywhere from 30 to 40% off of the lowest possible price. So when we go in and make a purchase, we are going in and explaining to the people selling, look, if you want our help, we're glad to help you. This is what we can do, and this is why we can do it. And the honest approach, they can either say yes or no, and in general, more often than not, they come back and say yes. The federal government even approached us, and we ended up moving about 50 truckloads of their excess BD syringes. We negotiated a price, and it worked out. We took what we could and got as much of it moved for them, and they were quite happy.
And so you're based in Florida. Tell us about the company's structure, with the storage and so forth that you've got currently.
Well, we have a sister warehouse in Boca Raton that we work with. We have a place in Deerfield Beach, a small office in Deerfield Beach, not very big, 7,000 square feet access in Boca. Our predominant business is truckloads or importation of containers. In certain situations, we just liquidated a large lot of gloves in the great state of Georgia. We actually brought our operation to Albany and Ocilla. We brought our staff up there, our trusted staff, because we didn't want to have any mistakes delivering to customers, because they expect it to be perfect 99.99% of the time. And we actually moved and did our warehousing out of South Georgia because we couldn't physically move that much product down to Florida and then ship it back out of Florida. It would have been a waste of freight. So we're flexible enough to pursue freight inventory in any part of the country. We've worked out of North Carolina. We've worked out of Georgia. We're looking at product in Texas and California on a continuous basis. So we're a well-run organization here locally, but we're willing to take our organization to where we need to be if the deal is sizable and the need is great enough. So that's how we view it.
So tell us about the revenue model. Let's talk about last year going into this year. Give us sort of what the numbers are looking like from your company. Last
year we did 4.4 million, 4.6 million. That number is important to me, but growing it is more important. So I apologize if I don't remember the exact figure.
No, it's fine.
This year we were trying to grow to 7 million, and it looks like we're going to be able to hit the $8 million mark this year rather easily. Again, we work hard to find inventory, and we work even harder to make sure when we get it, we buy it at the right price, and we pass those savings on to our customers, and we have a pretty loyal following. When we did the gloves, I forgot to mention, it was about we've done about 5.8 million boxes of gloves in about 8 weeks. So it was a tremendous amount of work. Everyone bet against us, but we got it done. And we're looking to continue to buy salvage gloves.
So we're talking 4.5, 4.6 last year, 7 to 8 million this year. Great numbers. That's, massive growth. Do you see that trajectory going into 2025? And what would you, obviously as an estimate, not as a, 100%, but what would you feel confident that you would be targeting to go for 2025?
Well, we started at 7 and we're going to end up at 8, and that's not a guarantee. And I don't guarantee that every single year. It was a great blessing this year because we fell into, through hard work, additional inventories. Our goals are for 10 million next year. That's our goal. I'm looking to at least do that, if not more. And with the continued help of Cyios and some more organizational expansion, taking some of the ancillary jobs away, allowing my team to focus on what they do best. And plus, we're going to ramp up our import from China and India and a variety of other countries this year. And we're laying the groundwork to work from the West Coast to the East and from the East to the West. So I'm comfortable saying our goals of $10 million. Again, I don't guarantee it, but my goal is 10 million, and that's what I'm shooting for.
Look, we've only got a little bit of time left. I want to talk about some of the things that you've just come out of a meeting with David and a group, and we're looking to do another acquisition. Again, a pretty exciting business opportunity. If that acquisition was to transfer into us and CYIO purchasing that company, what would you think the numbers could be of that business, the extra business coming in to Cyios?
That business, I'm a part of that business. For full disclosure, I don't want to lead anybody in the wrong direction. That business would dwarf anything I could do individually because of it has an ISO certificate that is accepted by the major distributors here in the United States. When you have an ISO certificate, you're held to a standard as if you were making insulin. It's got to be right. There's no mistakes that can be made. It's got to be perfect. And when you're held to that type of standard, the manufacturers will sell more, the distributors will buy more because they're assured through the audit process. They literally come down and visit with us, and they spend days here and check all our paperwork, all our procedures. They check every single box you could imagine because it's the same thing as if they're buying from the manufacturer. And that business in 1 year could be 25 million. In 2 years, it'll be over 50 million. It just requires
in revenue.
Yes.
Yep. Wow, that's
the
exciting.
reason why I'm looking to have Cyios buy that business is because it puts it in a very elite situation. Having an ISO cert allows you to walk in. You're in the front row. You're not relying on anybody else at that point. You're not worrying about someone else brokering your goods. That's you eliminate all that headache. In this particular case, you go in. There's only 8 people in the country that have this. It's a 500 million to a $1 billion market capitalization business. We are not going to get it all in the first year. We are going to fight like hell to get it as much as we can. But it's a business that is scalable up to our first $1 billion in revenue in a period of time. I'm not going to say that time, but in a period of time.
Yeah. So you're saying that the ISOS registration, there's only 8 of those in the whole of the US, and in the acquisition of this business,
we
would have one of those.
Field, yes. There's only 8.
Fantastic.
It's difficult. It's probably a 4 to 5 year process to get it. It involves meticulous bookkeeping, proper insurance. I mean, we even have to list down when the pest control comes to the building. Every single thing that goes on here, clean the bathroom, check the AC, every single thing that occurs in this building is required to be documented and kept. So if there's ever a question, I have to answer it, and you get about 10 minutes to answer it. There is no, I'll get back to you tomorrow. They come here, they ask the questions, and you have a few minutes to answer.
Fantastic. So in closing, CYIO is in a very, very strong position. We've got, a fantastic business within your company. It's doing proven track record in regards to revenues of 4.5, up to 8 this year, targeting 10 next year. We've got another acquisition on the table, which could bring in another 25. It would seem that Cyios's share price is probably not truly reflected in the true value. And I think that will come once we get audited accounts, once we get a few more eyeballs. And so, we're really excited about this opportunity and working with you and making sure that we can get this business to really grow. So I appreciate you being here and taking the time off your busy schedule.
The way I view it, the share price is important and it's great. It's having that consistent customer satisfaction so the customers come back every single time and treating the vendors right so they want to come back. It makes the job, it takes 50% of the job off of our back if we do it right the first time. That's how I view it. That's the only way to view it. Hi, Anna.
Thanks, Ralph.
Hi. Well, great job, John. You took my job. You did really good.
Thanks, Anna.
We appreciate this conversation. And yes, we look forward to having you both back and continuing on this discussion with some more updates. So thank you, Ralph, and thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
have a wonderful day.
All right. What a great way to close. In just a minute, you'll be redirected to the registration page for our next conference. On behalf of all of us at the Emerging Growth Conference, we want to thank all of our presenters and companies and attendees for making this such a great success. Remember, a complete replay of each conference, each company will be on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Please subscribe and follow us on Twitter @Emerging Growth C. I will see you next month on our next Emerging Growth Conference. Have a great day.